I stayed in 6 different hostels in total across 3 cities in Japan. I'm going to rate them out of 5, let you know my experience and would I recommend them. This video is going to be part of a little mini series that I'm doing here on my channel about how I went to Japan solo on a budget, my tips and tricks, and just anything else that you would like to know about going to Japan as a solo female or just as a solo traveler in general. So the first thing I will say is I use booking.com for my flights, and I also used it for all of my hostel accommodation because I found having everything in the same place is just the best way to be when you're solo traveling, because you just don't want the faff. If you've solo traveled before, you know what I mean. You just want everything to be in line, you want it to be organised, all in one place, and I cannot recommend booking.com enough. Without further ado, let's get into my first hostel in Tokyo. First hostel I stayed in, Unplanned Shinjuku. I'm gonna put some B-roll here of what it looked like inside. I didn't get loads because honestly, it was very overwhelming. It was aesthetically beautiful. Like, I cannot fault the way that the hostel looked. The bathrooms were clean, the showers were clean, the pods were comfortable. And I did say in my YouTube video that they didn't have enough adapters. However, I was just being a bit dum-dum and they had a USB and a USB-C. If you're a younger solo traveler, I would 100% recommend Unplanned Shinjuku. But for me, it was just too loud. There were people packing their suitcases at all times of the night for the whole 4 nights that I was there. It just seemed like very uni dorm vibes. They also had like a club downstairs and a cafe where you could get breakfast every morning, and it was just a really good place to hang out if you are looking to like make friends and mingle whilst you're in Japan, but that just wasn't me personally. So for Unplanned Shinjuku, I would give it a 3.5 out of 5 because I didn't hate it, but it was just a bit too loud. But it was stunning. I can't complain about the location. It was right next to a 7-Eleven, right next to a Family Mart. It had everything that you needed and it was in the center of Shinjuku. This hostel was also the most expensive hostel and I stayed for 4 nights. I paid £127.68, which I realized is actually quite cheap for 4 nights. However, my other hostels were so much cheaper and so much better. I wish that I'd done a little bit more research because I just literally searched hostels Shinjuku on TikTok and this is the first one that came up, and to be fair, it looked amazing, the reviews were amazing, and it was amazing. It just wasn't for me. So after 4 wonderful days in Tokyo, I then moved on to Kyoto. I got the Shinkansen, which was, oh my God, an incredible experience because I saw Mount Fuji. It was so surreal and I cried. Anyway, I did 3 nights in the Peace Hostel Kyoto and this hostel was incredible. It was not only like luxurious and there was greenery, there was plants, there was just everything. I didn't get any footage on my camera. I don't know why. I think I just felt a bit shy. The Peace Hostel Kyoto was honestly, I cannot fault it. It was a 3-minute walk to the train station. There was a bath with bath salts and the showers were clean. Everything was really tidy. It was quiet. They had like a Zen garden out the back with plants and oh my God, honestly, if you get the chance to stay at a Peace Hostel in Kyoto, I cannot recommend either of them enough. I would go back to either of them in a heartbeat. So for 3 nights at this gorgeous hostel, it was £46.38, which was absolutely, I mean, a round of applause, because what do you mean I stayed for 3 nights for £46? That is why I love Japan. Anyway, this hostel is gonna get a 4.5 out of 5 for me. It would be a 5, but it was a little bit far from Kyoto, like center. There isn't really a center of Kyoto, but there definitely is like a hub. Because this one was a little bit far out, when I eventually came back to Kyoto after not liking Osaka, I know, can you believe it? I did not like Osaka. I came back to Kyoto and I stayed in the Peace Hostel Sanja, which was in the center of town, and we will get to that because, oh my God. So after Kyoto, I had 4 nights booked in Osaka, and this is where things got interesting. I had the same hostel throughout, and it was called Hostel Mitsuwaya Osaka. And I think this might blow your mind when I tell you that this hostel was only £72.89 for 4 nights. Just to preface this by saying, in every single hostel I stayed in a female only dorm. So this hostel was really aesthetically pleasing in terms of it was very quintessential Japanese. It was, you had to take your shoes off, which I love. It was just very nice. I don't think that I got any footage of it though, because when I got there, I just didn't feel like I liked Osaka, and some people are going to say, oh, you didn't give it a chance, you didn't give it a chance. I was there for 2 nights in the end. When you have a gut feeling about something, when you're solo traveling, you have to follow your gut, and I just didn't feel that safe in Osaka, and I didn't feel that safe in the neighborhood that this hostel was. I don't know why. I think it was because it was quite far out from Osaka Central, which again, I did my research and all of the reviews and everything said that it was a really good location, but I just didn't think so personally. I would have rather have been in the center of Osaka for my safety, because getting back at night, I just didn't feel like I was safe. And safety as a solo, especially a solo female traveler, is the #1 priority. So I ended up booking for 4 nights, paying for 4 nights, but I actually only stayed here for 2, and I did Osaka in 1 day. Because I wasn't a fan of Osaka, I decided to go back to Kyoto, because honestly my heart was yearning for Kyoto, and I just feel like the time that I spent there wasn't enough. I didn't really get much chance to like really soak it up and like be immersed in it as much as I wanted to. So I decided to go back to Kyoto after 2 of 4 nights in this hostel. So this time we're going to the Peace Hostel Sanjo, which is in the absolute center of Kyoto. It was unbelievably good. I did not want to leave this hostel. It was paradise, actual paradise. I've got footage of this because it was genuinely like staying in a 5-star hotel, and I cannot fault it in any way. They had incredible amenities. They had a bar, they had a coffee area. They also had a giant bath, which was the best bath I've ever had. There were so many living plants. It was just, honestly, if I could spend 2 weeks in that hostel, I would have been happy. This one is definitely getting a 5 out of 5 for me, because it was just sensational. I again stayed in a female only dorm, and everyone was quiet and respectful, and my pod was really cute. I don't know if I've got a video of the pod, but it was basically just like curtains, and I was up a little stairs, and it was just so lovely. The lighting was good in the pod, and you were able to eat in the dorm, which, to be fair, I think only one of the hostels I stayed in, you weren't able to eat in there, which as a traveler who's on a budget, it is really nice to like go back to your dorm and actually eat in your little pod. Yes, so I stayed in this hostel Friday, Saturday night, so it was a little bit more expensive, and because I booked it literally the day before I arrived, it cost me £38.78 for 2 nights, which again is still incredible. What is that, like £16 a night? Oh, I would pay double that to stay there. It was that good. I actually genuinely did not want to leave. And they provided umbrellas when it started snowing. There were sinks in the room, mirrors. There was a rooftop as well. And I spent a lot of time on the rooftop. I did my food reviews up there, and it was just such a zen place to be. I still miss it to this day. And I can't believe I'm speaking this way about a hostel, but genuinely, if you're in Kyoto, stay at Peace Hostel Sanjo, because 5 out of 5, so good. So my time in Kyoto ended, and I went back to Tokyo for my last 2 nights in Japan. Honestly, I'm crying even just thinking about it right now. I wanted to stay in a side of Tokyo that I hadn't stayed in before. So I did a little bit of research whilst I was in Kyoto, and I decided on Asakusa because I hadn't been over that side of Tokyo, and I really, really wanted to explore it. And there was some temples and shrines and things that I really wanted to see over there. So I went on booking.com and I found the cheapest but nicest hostel that I could in that area. And I stumbled upon a gorgeous hostel, which was the most expensive hostel I stayed in, but it was also in the center of Asakusa, like literally a 2-minute walk from all of the most popular areas in Asakusa. And it was called the Rezel Hostel Tokyo Asakusa. But it was almost like a bit like a hotel, but then you go upstairs and there was like, you get your own little room. So this one cost me £27.96, and that was just for 1 night. And I didn't mind paying this because honestly I just wanted to like get the most out of my last night in Tokyo. I would really recommend this if you're staying in Asakusa because it was quite quiet. Like there wasn't really anybody else checked into my dormitory. Again, female only dormitory. They call it a cabin, not a pod, and to be fair, it was the most spacious one that I'd stayed in. It was really aesthetically pleasing. You had a little curtain and they just had everything you needed, and I would have been comfortable staying there for a few more nights. As far as amenities go, everything was good. The shower was really nice. They had a beauty room with straighteners, hairdryer, curlers. They also supplied like tampons, pads, cotton wool buds, toothbrushes, toothpaste. They were really well stocked, so I can understand why it was more expensive, because the amenities were a 5 out of 5. Yeah, basically, couldn't fault this hostel really. I would give it a 4.5 out of 5. I'm only not giving it a 5 because of my standards from the Peace Hostel Sanjo were blown out of the water, that I feel like that is my 5 out of 5. So I'm gonna give it a 4.5 out of 5. So that brings me to my last and final hostel of the trip. This was one that was near the airport that I found for super cheap, because I had a really early flight the next day, so I just wanted to be within like 15 minutes of the airport. So I did a lot of research beforehand on where to stay that was close to the airport. Is the area safe? I will say always check the area of where your accommodation is in, whether it's a hotel, whether it's a hostel. Just always do your research. I mean, Japan is generally very safe, but obviously you can never be too careful. So just please make sure that you are checking your area if it's close to what you need. Yeah, just generally do your research. So that brings me to my final hostel, and it's called Platt Hostel KQ Haneda Home. This hostel cost me £18.73 for one night, and honestly, it was very basic, but it was exactly what I needed. It was a 5-minute walk to the train, and the train took me straight to the airport. Trains run every 5 minutes, so you're pretty much guaranteed to get to the airport at any time of day. It was super easy. I would really recommend staying here if you have an early flight the next day. The bed was really comfortable. There was only one other woman in the room, and honestly, I would really recommend staying here. I had a little walk around the area. It was so quiet, very quaint, and it was just lovely to like be in an area that wasn't touristy at all, just to like really immerse yourself in the Japanese culture a little bit more. There was some beautiful shrines nearby, and it was just a great place to like finish your trip. Would highly recommend this hostel. In terms of rating it, I'd probably give it like a 4 out of 5 stars. It literally served its purpose, and that's all I can say really. So here's the total amount I spent on accommodation in Japan for 2 weeks. I do not think that is bad at all. Like, actually, I think that is absolutely amazing. Like, what do you mean that I can do it on such a budget? I can't wait to go back. Take me back. And here is the total, including my flights. When I tell you, you do not need a lot of money to go to Japan, I really mean it. I also managed to survive on like £200 for my spending money, like including souvenirs. I never didn't eat when I wanted to eat. Yes, I forgot all of my actual physical cards in England, so I could only go to cashless places. I went there for the convenience stores, for the culture, and for seeing if I could do this on a budget. And I'm not gonna lie, I had the trip of a lifetime, and I will remember it forever. Like, genuinely, I think about Japan since that trip every single day, and I cannot wait to go back and experience it again. And I just feel so blessed to have been able to go. And I really recommend going on your own, because you don't have to answer to anybody's requests. You can do what you want. If you want to go here, if you want to go there, it's just the best place to solo travel, in my opinion. I felt so safe 99% of the time. There was only 1% that I didn't. That was on a train. That's a story for another time. I was still fine. I lived to tell the tale. I just think that if you are planning a solo trip anywhere, Japan is the one. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, because I would love to make YouTube a thing, and I would love to do this for my career. And you liking the video, hyping the video, subscribing, commenting really helps me. So yeah, I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in my next Japan vlog.